it was something of a bit of a different world back then. Today, of course, it is the site of the National Stadium, this enormous stadium that can house 55,000 spectators, and was built for the 2012 European Championship in football that was hosted by Poland and Ukraine, and that was also a moment in Warsaw's history that in some ways could maybe be compared to the Beijing Olympics of 2008.
Yes, it was a very successful time.
Slightly, naturally different scale, different country, but in one way you could say that it was a sports competition which was also meant to send a clear signal to the rest of the world how far the city or the country has come. Warsaw of 2012 was a drastically different city than it was back in the year of 2000, and even more so than the year of 1990, for example.
Exactly.
So by then, Warsaw or Poland had been an EU member for 8 years, and the city center was full of skyscrapers, great parks, and it really was a modern city that you could find anywhere in Western Europe.
If you look at the development, even since 2012, it's been quite profound now.
Absolutely.
Around just to the, trying to get mine, just to the west now of the central railway station. Those developments, then of course Plac Europejski and the skyscrapers there.
Yes.
Extraordinary leap forward in terms of... I'm not convinced in terms of architecture there's a leap forward, but certainly in terms of development and investment in the city.
Yes, I moved to that part of the city exactly in 2012, and back then there was practically nothing there, and now 10 years later, and it has really become a second center of the city, so to say. So the pace of growth has been absolutely incredible, and the people that came to Warsaw in 2012, a lot of these football fans that had never been to Poland at all before and not to Warsaw, I remember talking to many of them, and they said that they were shocked. They had no idea. They had this picture of Poland and Warsaw from the early 1970s of just being a very grim, grey city,
grey
no fun, no good restaurants, no nightclubs, no nothing. So many of them were pleasantly surprised. And
there is that video by the pop group whose name now escapes me. The song, I think, is called "The Wall Came Tumbling Down" or something like that, which shows they came to play at the Aquarium Jazz Club, and then they did the sort of pop video, which shows them hopping on and off Warsaw trams and this sort of very, very grim city as it looked then.
Yes, and if we look at these changes, one of them was the metro system that the mayor, the pre-war mayor Stefan Starzyński, had been dreaming about. He started serious plans on construction, and it was supposed to be finished by 1945, but naturally the war stopped it. Construction started again in the 1980s, and by 1995 they opened the first line of the metro, and since the city had grown quite a lot in the 60s and 70s, car ownership was maybe not that obvious for everyone, but by the mid-1990s it was certainly a fact. So the city streets were quite clogged, and traffic jams were a big problem in rush hours. So many Warsawians said that the opening of the first metro line was one of their greatest days in Warsaw. Finally,
and then, of course, after opening, it was over the years, additional stations were added.
Yes.
Then the second metro line, which is still growing.
Yes, and the first segment of the second line was opened for it was slightly delayed, as many of the infrastructure projects associated with the European Championship of 2012, but it was opened in connection with that. And as you mentioned, it's still growing and probably needs another 3-4 years for it to be completed. But then we will have two fully completed metro lines serving Warsaw, hopefully helping the traffic situation even more. And then, of course, a third, fourth, and fifth line are in the plans, but that is probably another few decades before we can say that all of them are completed. Unfortunately, they are very costly, and Warsaw's budget, despite growing, is far from being infinite.
Well, exactly.
So that is still something for the future. But the growth of Warsaw in many ways also symbolizes the growth of Poland since 1989. It is a different city, it is a different country, and there is this spirit of optimism. The people that live here and are in their mid-20s or even mid-30s, they are aware of where they are coming from, that the Warsaw and Poland of their parents or grandparents was a very different place, and a lot has been achieved in quite a short time, and that things are moving in the right directions.
Adam, as usual, the clock in the corner of the room is showing that we've run out of time, but we'll pick it up next time, so thank you. There we are. I've had to interrupt Adam almost in mid-sentence, but fear not. If you join us next time, as we hope you will, we'll pick up the story and continue our examination of the history and modern development of Warsaw. Thank you for watching.